In the run-up to the 2022 elections, President William Ruto, who was then Deputy President and presidential candidate of the Kenya Kwanza Alliance, promised that he shall institute a quasi-judicial public inquiry into, quote, state capture. With 39 days to the August 2022 election, the presidential candidate pledged that within 30 days of coming into office, he will appoint the State Capture Inquiry Commission to, among other things, examine the extent of cronyism and political elite influence over public institutions and make recommendations. On Mekika tonight, we take a look back at the promise of a state capture inquiry made in 2022. Citizen TV's Sam Gituku reports.
Alliance now promises to appoint a quasi-judicial public inquiry body to probe the extent of the state capture and cronyism, meaning situations where trusted allies of those in power benefit from state jobs and tenders. The Alliance plans to establish the mechanism within 30 days, its duty being to give recommendations to the government that will guide implementation. And to ensure a conflict of interest is dealt with, the Alliance is promising to ensure that organizations that do business with the government share information on beneficial owners of the state companies. The Companies Act describes beneficial owners as the ultimate owners of a business who may not necessarily be at the forefront of seeking business opportunities for the organization. At a time, some powerful politicians and Kenyans have millions worth of property outside the country. The Kenya Kwanza Alliance is promising to collaborate further with foreign partners in the sharing of information and repatriation of stolen assets.
Sam Gituku reporting in June 2022. Now, in the wake of the legal hurdles to his proposed multi-agency approach, I would urge President Ruto to revisit the promise of a state capture inquiry. In its basic definition, state capture is a form of systemic corruption in which private individuals or powerful elites exert undue influence over government institutions and decision-making processes to serve their own private interests rather than the public good. To apply this as close as possible to the Kenyan context, orders from above, mkubwa amesema, hiyo ni ya mkubwa, and the like, all that constitutes elements of state capture. It is about the use of state power for private gain. And normally, it is a process of converting that public power to private gain that results in corruption. Kenya's greatest impediment today is official or high-level corruption. An inquiry on state capture would, for example, connect all the dots between individuals, their positions in political power, and mega deals. A state capture inquiry might just provide answers to questions around mega projects like the Aror Kimorer Dam, the so-called government-to-government oil importation deal, the edible oil scandal, the Adani JKIA and Ketraco failed deals, and even the unclear Shah-Schiff deals, as well as the privatization of state corporations such as the Kenya Pipeline Corporation. And going by the scope proposed at the time by candidate Ruto in 2022, a state capture inquiry may also provide answers to many questions around the Uhuru Kenyatta era movement of Eurobond billions. How about the Malaba-bound SGR line that ends suddenly in a narrow thicket? To fight corruption, give us a state capture inquiry, Mr. President. Even if just for information, a state capture inquiry would make a thrilling chapter in the long story of the looting of Kenya by an expanding clique of greedy political elite. Give us a state capture inquiry you promised, Mr. President. That is my kicker.